You tried to make it short and sweet.
Hello my darlings, and welcome to the short books reading vlog, where I read books that are under 200 pages and that you could read in a day. I have already filmed this, I edited it, I thought I uploaded it, turns out I didn't, and unfortunately I did delete all of the footage as well as all of my notes. So I've tried to sort of decoupage a review together based on my memory of these books, but if it's a bit lacking in quality, that is why. But without much further ado, let me tell you about the books that I read. So the first book I read is The Future Library by Peng Shepherd. And in this book, two lesbians care for the last forest on Earth, who may have humanity's only chance for survival written within the stories they grow. I can't actually tell you what the exact plot is of this because it's such a short story. I think it actually gives away a bit of the magic of what's going on besides the climate disaster that has occurred and the sapphic romance that is within it. But it's mostly carrying themes of environmentalism plus literary resonance. It's about caring for trees, preserving words, and thinking about what we leave behind and the stories we tell. Overall, I found this to be really melancholic and kind of depressing. I think if you dislike dystopia and environmental doom, it's probably not for you. I did find it really frustrating. I would hope that humanity is not so stupid that if we did get to the point where there was only one remaining forest on Earth, that we wouldn't chop it down. I like to have a bit more faith in humanity than that. So yeah, I thought this was an okay read. I forgot to write down how many pages that is. I'm just going to put it up on the screen. Let's save myself some time, because supposedly I've been logged out of Goodreads on my iPad. Anyway, the next book I read was Sing by Karen Tidback, and this is 64 pages. In this book, a city boy goes to an alien village on another planet for the vibe and ends up in a folkloric horror opera. This story is eerie, mournful, and strange. In it, we have Ano, who is an outcast who has clawed her way up into belonging in the community she's in. And the book itself, I think, is maybe a metaphor for survival in oppressive systems. But Ano is visited by this well-meaning kind of colonizer, Peter, who just wants to understand their culture and their customs and what is happening there. And he ends up paying dearly for it. This is a bit of a bizarre book. I'm not entirely sure I understood what was happening in regards to this particular place and birds and voices. I think perhaps it might be maybe paying homage to cultures that were silenced and end up being sung through alien throats. I'm not entirely sure with this one, and I don't really remember a lot of it, except really the ending was the most memorable scene. So that was Sing. And then I read Beasts by Ingvild Bjekkeland. I forgot to re-look up how to pronounce that. And this is 128 pages long. When the world ends, it doesn't burn or explode. It simply goes quiet. Electricity dies, people vanish, strange hulking creatures appear, black-furred, clawed, and stalking the remains of human civilization. And amid the silence, you have 13-year-old Abdi and his 5-year-old sister, Alva, who are trying to reach this remote island where they believe their father, who is a bird researcher, was last stationed, because unfortunately, their mother does get killed by one of these said strange creatures. So now Abdi becomes both parent and protector of his younger sister, and he has to guide them through forests and abandoned villages towards the sea to get across to this island. So you have alternating times in the book. So you've got the present day siblings' flight towards safety, and then memories of days before the fall of civilization. And it shows you how the world can slip from ordinary to the unthinkable instantly. And like most apocalypses, it began with strange news reports, faint worries, animals going missing, until the monsters overtook and everything collapsed. The prose in this, it's translated. I forgot to write down the translator. It was giving lean, clipped, and bit, Nordic austerity kind of vibes. And even though Beasts does contain monsters and they are the cause of the ends of the modern civilization, it's less about that and more about the violence of responsibility. Abdi has to make decisions no 13-year-old should really have to make, and his fear isn't just for survival, but it's the terror of being the only adult left for someone who still believes in magic. His very innocent, naive 5-year-old sister. And then you've also got the other survivors in this world, and they reflect variations of what humans become when stripped of structure and order. So some are kind and some are cruel. All of them are afraid, but there is no very neat good versus evil in this, because everyone is capable of both, and it just depends which way they end up falling. This is my kind of story. I think if you want a simpler, less complicated book like The Wall or the Red Riding Hood one by Christina Henry, you might enjoy this. It's very simple, and I will say it ends without finality. So you get to a certain point, there's some resolution of certain aspects of the book, but we don't see what happens in the end. But I did enjoy reading it. I blitzed through this. And then I read One Level Down by Mary G. Thompson. I'll put how many pages this is up on the screen. I'm sorry guys, like I said, I cobbled this together last minute when I was about to do my November wrap up and realized there's no short books reading vlog uploaded this month. I was like, oh no, what did I do? So yes, this was late at night trying to redo everything. So in this book, Ella has been playing toddler for decades, and now she's going to convince the cosmic repairman to set her free or hit the universe's biggest delete button. So in this book, you have a very unnerving piece of speculative fiction that blends philosophical inquiry with psychological horror. The novella follows Ella, who is a woman who has been trapped for 58 years in the body of a 5-year-old within a simulated colony. Her daddy is this simulated world's despotic creator, and he manipulates reality itself and deletes anyone who threatens his illusion of control. So Ella, who is performing this internal role because if she deviates from it, she is punished severely, and not only her, the people that she cares about around her. And she is waiting, praying for a visit from a technician from the world above, because only with their help can she devise a plan that can undo her prison, but also may have greater reactions than just their little world. I'm keeping it vague because this is a sort of mindfuck kind of book in terms of how this universe runs. And it's things that you find out as you read. So I don't want to give too much away of what the real situation is. The writing is very claustrophobic and precise because it's trying to emulate the queasy unreality of life inside a simulation built on fear and grief. So the story's premise, a fully grown woman who is in the facade of a child creates this atmosphere of moral decay and existential dread. Ella's narration, which has to oscillate between childlike obedience in order to play her part and also the adult despair that she is feeling, becomes a very chilling portrait of enforced innocence and eroded identity. It is a very dark allegory of power, parenthood, and the fragile boundary between creation and control. It's asking, without offering comfort, what freedom might mean when even the laws of reality are someone else's code. This was, really interesting. The pacing was absolutely bizarre. I think I do remember that. It dragged in some cases and then it went way too fast in others. This very interesting thing happens at the end, and we don't get to see how this particular character lived in the meantime between one event and then the end event. Like I said, I have to be very vague with this, but there was like this whole chunk missing. I'm like, I wanted to know what happened to them during this interim. And it just felt so pedal to the metal right at the end. And then you're left sort of discombobulated and feeling flustered because you're just like, wait, hold on, hold on. What is happening right now? Oh my God, everything's happening. I'm trying to catch up. So yeah, it was very interesting. It was terrifying and depressing and interesting. So let me sum up all the books I read with a TLDR for you. So we have The Future Library by Peng Shepherd. It was 32 pages. 32 pages. I've written it down here. And in this one, so this was about an arborist tasked with maintaining the planet's final forest who discovers a truth so big it changes everything. It's about trees, love, and what we're willing to preserve for tomorrow. Sing by Karen Tidback, a melancholy sci-fi folk tale where an outsider learns the fatal cost of trying to belong to an alien people who sing with stolen voices. Beasts by Ingvild Bjerkland, in which two siblings flee monsters through the woods. But the scariest thing they find is what survival demands. And One Level Down by Mary G. Thompson, 196 pages, 58 years of forced playtime. Ella's done pretending to be Daddy's little girl, even if blowing up the entire universe is her only way out. If you've read a short book recently, let me know down below what it is. If you don't know what to post a cloud emoji, because today's perfume is Cloud by Ariana Grande. This has lavender, pear, bergamot, whipped cream, coconut praline, vanilla orchid, musk, and woody notes. It's cozy, luminous, and quietly romantic. It's like falling asleep inside a cloud of vanilla and light. I think it best suits transitional seasons, lazy mornings, and people who want to smell like a sugared daydream that never quite fades. The first image I got when sniffing this, you would have seen me sniff it in the vlog, but the picture that was in my head was of Cinderella at a springtime ball, sipping on a lavender cocktail with whipped cream. It was meant to be a 540 dupe, and while I admit that the dry down was slightly reminiscent, but without the spice and with a lot more sweetness, I still wouldn't call it a dupe. It's very, very feminine, and to me, it smells young. I've given this to my teenage daughter and she absolutely loves it. The book that I'm pairing with this is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Gerber. This is a confectionery fantasy meets heartbreak and hope. Evangeline Fox believes in true love until her Prince Charming marries someone else. Desperate to stop the wedding, she strikes a deal with the charmingly dangerous Prince of Hearts. So that's everything for this reading vlog. I'm going out running a million errands today. This does include 2 library runs. So I will actually include the library hauls in this vlog because I have a feeling this is a bit short. So I will see you later on with some new books. Okay, I got some treats, both gluten-free. So we have a choc chip walnut cookie, and look at this. Oh my God. Oh, brownie. Score. I'm trying to decide which one to try. Some vegan chocolate, very cool packaging. Hello my darlings, I am back. Let me show you my haul. I got quite a few actually. So I got Orlando by Jacqueline Harpman. I love I Who Have Never Known Men. So I wanted to try her other book that's just been translated. I think this is it's translated by Ross Schwartz. I think this is a gender flipped version of Orlando, if I recall correctly. Wascally Wabbit. Now I've also got, oh, can't show you that. That's for a Christmas vlog. I've got Goblin by Josh Malerman. So I think this is a collection of short horror stories. I've got, oh, this has been battered. I'm surprised the library had this. This is S by J.J. Abrams and the book Ship of Theseus. This is an interesting one. It has to come in a book sleeve because of the nature of the book. I wonder, being a library copy, how much of the inserts are actually left in this. I would be surprised if a lot of things have gone missing from this one, but I've got that to try. On the Clock by Claire Bagland finally came in. I really love this cover. It's very simple, but it's very eye-catching. And it says it's a novel of the exploitation and alienation of the working class. And it's got some purple end pages. This is translated by Jordan Stump. And then finally, isn't this a pretty cover? This is Allegro Pastel by Leaf Rant, translated by Peter Kuras. I've gotten a lot of translated fiction in. And it says Tanya and Jerome are navigating a long-distance relationship in a world of constant communication and emotional hyperflexation. This is love in the therapeutic age. So thought I'd give it, oh, that's real good. Who published this? Granta Magazine Editions. That smells nice. Hey Nova, you want to say hello? You're not on my vlogs as much. This is Nova. She's not one to be, what's the word? Manhandled. She doesn't like it. All right, we're all done. That's everything. I'm going to have my treats. And until next time, get shorty, Star Child.